Simon Miller, bored a-hole here with another walk and talk, and it's been dubbed by the comments, which I appreciate. This is backed by popular demand. If popular demand is a few people mentioning, Simon, haven't you done one in a while? But I'll take that. When I was a kid, I didn't have many friends because I was bullied. So if I had one friend, all of a sudden I would have felt very popular. We don't need to go down. That's not what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about Anthony Joshua. Obviously, he has his big fight with Usyk this weekend, and we're in the press part of everything, time to duck, where, we're building up to the fight and we're talking about who's going to win, who's going to lose. Obviously, Tyson Fury's name gets in there because everyone wants to see AJ versus Tyson Fury. But the spin now, this is unbelievable, is that Anthony Joshua isn't looking as muscular as he once was. Now, is this true from a statement point of view? Yes, it is. But this was the same when he fought Andy Ruiz a couple of years ago, a year ago, whenever the hell it was. He slimmed down. He decided he wanted to be less of a power guy and he wanted to be more of a quick mover, boxing kind of a guy, and it worked. But still, so it's not even a news headline, right? Because we've done it. We did it whenever the hell that fight was. The other thing is, look at him. You find me, unless you are in like super fitness club where maybe you're a bodybuilder or you're an athlete yourself or you're aiming for something specific. Most people that just go into the gym and trying to stay in shape, you try and find me someone who wouldn't switch with Anthony Joshua right now. And you may be different, you may have a better body in terms of what you think is to be a better body when it comes. But to read articles that say Anthony Joshua doesn't look as muscular as he once was is absolutely nuts. And I know I go on about this stuff all the time, but it's true. Straight away it ties back into this idea of what the hell having a good body is. And then you got the problem with Instagram and TikTok and all this fitness nonsense, because if you are brand new to this and then you read an article that says, oh, Anthony Joshua's not looking as good as he once did, and then you look at Anthony Joshua and you're like, wait a minute, this is a big muscular dude with not that much body fat. What the hell are your standards going to be, right? Well, not your standards, what the hell are your expectations going to be? They're going to be utterly blown out of the water because a dude that is a super athlete, again, is being told by the newspapers, well, it's not as big as he once was, so you stand no chance. And the other part to all this is that AJ, to use his nickname, is a boxer. Obviously, you know this, I know this, we all know this. His job isn't to be aesthetically pleasing. I mean, again, look at Andy Ruiz, who knocked him out and everyone thought he wouldn't because maybe AJ did. Maybe he fell into this trap. Maybe he fell into this trap, thought he doesn't look very good, so I can whoop his ass. But that's not his job. His job is to, and his team's, is to figure out how do I defeat Usyk, who you could argue is a better pound-for-pound boxer than AJ. Again, I don't want to get into that right now. I will after the fight. I want to talk about it. I like boxing. But his job is to win boxing fights. And of course, he's a heavyweight, so there's going to be some musculature there because he needs to be strong. But that's not his job. He's not a bodybuilder. And when we get to all of this, what do? We start talking about his physique. We start talking about his body because we know if we put it out there, it's going to get clicks. Because the fitness industry these days has become a hotbed for popular statements such as this, which is crazy to me because when I first started lifting weights, which was a long ass time ago, even if you bought protein powder, people thought you were weird. They're like, what do you mean you're drinking powder from a cup? You some kind of drug addict? I mean, that still goes on with creatine today, especially with parents, and it will drive you nuts. But you're like, no, I just want to get more protein because I want to get more size. And you couldn't even find anywhere to order it online. You had to go into crazy shops and it all tasted like sand. There's like one flavour. So we've come a long way. But the downside of that, I suppose, is because it has become so popular, people want to, I don't want to say abuse clicks because I don't like this whole clickbait thing. We've talked about that before, but they will come up with these crazy stances that really do make absolutely no sense when you start to think about it. How can anybody in the world look at Anthony Joshua and go, well, he doesn't look very muscly? And let's compare him to Tyson Fury, right? If you saw Tyson Fury walking down the street, I know he's crazy tall, but if you knew nothing about sport, I don't think you would think he's an athlete. But again, he has natural ability when it comes to the boxing ring. I mean, weird ability. I don't really know how he does what he does, but he does do it. So that already takes out the argument Anthony Joshua has to look a certain way. And just because he was a bit of a behemoth a few years ago, he loses some size and all of a sudden we jump on the dragon. Then when we break it down to someone like you or me or someone that's not in the public eye for that realm, again, you are going to start worrying about if you, I don't know, maybe you can't go to the gym because of an injury, or maybe you put on some body fat, or maybe you overbulk, maybe you overcut, right? It could be one of many things. And you're going to get these kind of comments as well. And I really do think it can do a number on your self-confidence. I think it can do a number on your motivation. And I think it can do a number on the fact that you still want to go to the gym to begin with, right? And you'll start going, oh, is it worth it? Because we all get into those kind of headspaces from time to time. You can't help yourself. It's you're a human being. And even, we'll use the people, even Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, even these guys are waking up every now and then. They're like, oh, I don't want to do boxing training today, but they find a way to do it. I mean, I'm sure being paid millions of pounds and dollars certainly helps. It all ties into this ridiculous standard that is being put out there, be it subconsciously or consciously, every single day. And nobody's immune to it. How could you be immune to it? It'd be, you know, if you're desperate to lose fat or put on muscle or whatever the hell it may be, there's no way that not one day will you be like, oh, maybe I should try this supplement, or maybe I should see what this guy's doing, or, you know, maybe I should get into PDs, whatever the hell it may be, which is another thing, really. It's why when athletes get done for taking performance-enhancing drugs, so many people use that as their own kind of crutch. They're like, oh, I knew it, thank goodness. And again, mentally, what you do is, well, I could be in that position if I took PDs, and this then goes the other way, and you don't actually take accountership, that's not a word, but you don't take responsibility for the things that you probably are doing in your own life. For example, you're not losing fat because you're just eating too much, and that's the one thing that we all do. Put the fork down is the catchphrase of the year, but it is true. Like, it's true. Like, we want to lose fat, and we blame it on our hormones, we blame it on our sleep patterns, or we blame it on, you know, our stressful life. But ultimately, if you're not losing fat, it's because your diet, you're consuming too many calories. It just made me laugh to the point where, what's Anthony Joshua like? 6'4", 6'5". I'm sure when he weighs in, he'll be over 17 stone. I can't remember what he weighed in for Anthony against Ruiz, but I think maybe he was high 16s at his lowest, but I think I'm exaggerating. So you got a man who is, let's just say, 17 stone, gonna be in super duper shape, enough to get through a 12-round boxing match should he have to do it. And I know whether you've done boxing, but my word, it's incredibly hard. And the article we decide to run is, well, he's not that muscular anymore, is he? What do you want, Ronnie Coleman? Do you want Ronnie Coleman to get in there? And I tell you what would happen if Ronnie Coleman was gonna be a boxer, because obviously the bigger the muscles, the more oxygen you need to function. Not the right saying, but you see what you know what I'm talking about. He would be gassed in around about, I'll give him 30 seconds. That's not his fault. It's the fact he's training for a completely different discipline and a completely different sport. So I guess the idea of this video today, as I get my 10,000 steps in, is to just always remind yourself of this. Always read something with that in the back of your head. Whatever you're doing is just fine. Even if you're 300 pounds, as long as you've made the decision to get down to 250, 200, 195, whatever the hell it may be, you're only in competition with yourself. You only need to worry about your own diet and your own goals. You may need to get a personal trainer. A lot of people do, because of course that, well, having somebody watching you just helps. So if you're training for a bodybuilding competition, it's really hard to judge yourself, but don't get tied into all this absolute nonsense. I mean, my word, it's stupid. I don't know where it begins. It's like someone the other day was talking about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came back to WWE, doesn't look as big as he used to. Mother Hubbard, shut up. So yeah, maybe one day, fitness can just be about the individual. I think that would be nice. It doesn't mean you can't be constructively critical and actually have the debate about Anthony Joshua's body. That's not what these people are doing. You know it, I know it. Now please do like the video, share the video, subscribe, click the bell ding dings, you know other videos are going live. There will be another video on the screen, please do give it a click. Patreon.com/Simon316, at Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. I'm in Greg Doucette's cookbook, I'm on Cameo, I got merchandise, it's all in the description below. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting. I'm at my house, see you soon.